10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Earth below us, drifting, falling.
Chris,
floating,
please shut
waiting,
up. It's time to
falling
start the stream.
That's not how the song goes.
Okay.
But we're happy that you're watching. Our
Hello,
show.
welcome to another fabulous RichAlvarez stream. With me as always is Chris.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Mario Luigi Brothership and Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Ooh, a couple of new Nintendo games that just got announced at the Direct. But we're going to save those for a little bit because we got a bunch of other stuff we're going to talk about. We've got some Game of Thrones news to talk about. We've got some Batman news, some Mario movie news, and we're going to talk about some other stuff as well. But yeah, anyways, how you feeling, Chris? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. And by the way, guys, when we don't stream for a while, we're always worried things are funky. So put a 1 in the chat if you can see us and hear us clearly. So 1 in the chat if you can see us and hear us clearly, and I guess a 2 if there's problems. But 1 if we're good to go. And also, be sure to give this video a like. Okay.
I agree.
I see him. We got Son Goku, Lady Rosebug, Double L, all saying 1s, and also Omni Kickflip. So,
yes, thank you, Son
Thank
Goku.
you.
The Marvel vs. Capcom collection, I actually forgot to add that to the list. But yeah, I mean, I just wish they'd make a new Marvel vs. Capcom game, but I'll settle for a collection of the old stuff, because why not? Anyways, thank you all for joining us. So, first of all, we're going to talk about some movie news, and then we're going to get into some video game news, including the aforementioned Mario and Zelda games, and then we're going to leave some room at the end for answering your questions, although knowing us, we will probably be answering your questions through and through. If you would like to guarantee that your question gets answered as soon as you ask it, that is why we have Super Chat, and we have our handy-dandy little
Bluetooth
noise
speaker
here
to read your Super Chat in the Microsoft Sam voice.
The robot will read your Super Chat, so do not hesitate to do that if you would like your question answered immediately above the kerfuffle. Anyways, Scott Otter is here. He says, I see a couple of 10s.
Thanks, Scott.
Hey, thanks, Scott. And thanks for always being right here, right when we start.
What a good friend.
Yeah, come visit us sometime. Anyways, he's probably like, you guys need to visit me. And that's also true. Yeah. Anyways, starting with The Penguin, some of you may have been fans of the Matt Reeves directed, Robert Pattinson starring The Batman movie that came out a couple years ago at this point. I loved it. I actually think it might even be my favorite Batman movie. Anyways, they just dropped a trailer a couple of days ago for The Penguin, a show on Max that is also being produced by Matt Reeves, and it stars Colin Farrell as the Penguin, just as he was in the Batman film. This show takes place after The Batman, and it seems like it's going to basically be all about how the underground crime families deal with the aftermath of the Riddler and all that stuff from the movie. Interesting, as at least in the trailer we didn't see any Batman. I don't know if Batman's going to make an appearance.
We'll see.
I mean, that'd be cool, but also it's supposed to just be about the Penguin. But this will be Penguin's rise to the top of the underground crime. It looks really cool. The trailer looks really good.
It does. Rich just showed me the trailer right before we started streaming, and I gotta say, it actually looks pretty awesome. Like, it kind of, the closest thing it reminds me of is a classic, like, mafia mobster film. So I was getting like Goodfella vibes, maybe with less humor. It was,
that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure this show will be great for what it is, but obviously, as most of you know, I'm a huge fan of The Sopranos, which was filled with a lot of like dark humor as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got to have that. I mean, at least when you're talking about like Italian mob, because it's like, oh,
Exactly.
Hey, I didn't ask for that. Hey, come here, sit there, or being Italian ourselves, I think I really appreciate that, the wise guy, East Coast,
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's a thing.
This show looks good too. Super Mario Bros. The movie was great.
We did a lot of talking about that last year in our live streams and in YouTube news.
They finally announced a release date for the sequel, which also confirms that the sequel is for sure happening. I mean, the movie made, what, $1.5 billion?
It did very
It's
well.
not like Illumination wasn't going to get to it, but I think what they had to do is, obviously they just released or are about to release Despicable Me 4, right?
Oh, wow. I guess so, yeah.
They had to finish doing that, and now they're going to start working on this Mario sequel. And, it looks... well, it doesn't look like anything because it hasn't been made yet, but I'm excited for the news that it'll be coming out April 24th, 2026, which is a little less than 2 years from now. And I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking it too. I hate waiting. I'm so impatient.
Yeah.
I hate waiting for things. I'm like, I want it now. But,
now.
things take time and patience. And
So we don't really know anything about it, right? They just announced it, but we don't know who the villain's going to be. We don't know if there's going to be new characters. I mean, Bowser obviously played a big role in the first one. So here's my theory. Take this as a fun prediction. I have a theory that Bowser is going to have to team up with Mario and Luigi to fight a bigger, badder bad guy. That's my guess, because they've done that in some of the Mario RPG spin-off games. So that's my theory. So come back in 2 years and we'll see if I'm correct. What do you think?
I agree. So I was reading comments.
What comments were catching your eye that were more important than your friend?
JML says, and I hope I'm saying that right, wait, both of you are of Italian descent? Or was that just an SMB joke?
Oh, no, we're both actually
We're actually
part Italian.
Actually, I think we're both of us are half Italian, right? Like, yeah. So on my mother's side, and actually
also
on your
my
mother's side.
Yeah.
Hey, the Mothers and Fathers Italian Association. Okay, and then moving on, Spaceballs 2. Now, I don't know. Spaceballs was a long time ago. I don't know how many of you guys are fans of Spaceballs. I love Spaceballs. I'm a big fan of Mel Brooks. I love, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Dracula Dead and Loving It, High Anxiety, Silent Movie, all of his movies. I'm a big Mel Brooks fan, the producers. And I love Mel Brooks. However, this will not be, he'll be producing, but Mel Brooks also produced History of the World Part 2 on Hulu, and that was not a good sequel to History of the World Part 1. I love History of the World Part 1, by the way.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles is another. Young Frankenstein. I just keep naming Mel Brooks movies. They're all great. I have perhaps a little bit more faith in this project because with the Hulu show, they actually made it a show. So they had to, make everything segmented, in episodic segments. This is going to be a movie. So at least it's a movie. However, John Candy is dead. Bill Pullman is old. Mel Brooks is really old. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be he played Yogurt, which was the Yoda parody. Spaceballs the flamethrower. So maybe he'll still voice it and it'll be CGI or something. Because I don't know if he can get in all that makeup at 97 or how old he is.
Do you think this still has the potential to be a good movie when it's been so long since the original?
Well, that's the thing. Again, the original film written and directed by Mel Brooks. He is producing, so he'll have some oversight. However, this movie is being written by Josh Gad, who, he doesn't have a whole lot of writing experience. I mean, obviously he's an actor. He was the snowman in Frozen, and he was the little sidekick in Beauty and the Beast. I forget what's the name of Gaston's little sidekick in Beauty and the Beast? Cool.
I was thinking Shmee, but that's Peter Pan.
Yeah, Shmee.
Yeah,
Captain. That's great.
Yeah, there you go. Well, anyway, so
is it like LeFou? Somebody's going to say it in the comments in a minute. I know it. Anyways, Josh Gad's...
Maurice?
No, Maurice is Belle's dad.
Good try. Good try.
I want to say it's LeFou. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying that Josh Gad's writing it. And people are saying you're chiseled in the chat, Chris.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Is the beach this way? I can't do this. Hold on. Is the beach this way or is it that way?
Chris has like 10% body fat. I've got like 99% body fat.
There we go. Yeah, it looked better. It looked better from that angle. Anyway,
it is LeFou. Thank you,
for
EDMG7. Anyways, I'm sidetracked. The point is that Josh Gad is writing Spaceballs. Why is it so hard to get through this topic? He's writing Spaceballs too, and also I don't think they've announced a director yet. Could it be good? Yes. Could it be bad? Yes. It's like one of those things where it's like until you actually see a movie, anything has the potential to be good or bad. We all thought that there was potential with Terminator 3 until we saw it. It's like
Yeah. I think that's the problem when it's been a really, really long time since a movie came out. The expectations are just going to be so high for them to do it right that it's a lot more likely they're going to ruin it than actually make a good movie.
Well, because like, what have you got with space? I love Spaceballs, but what have you got?
Okay, these comments. I mean, guys, my ego can only take so much.
This guy doesn't need any more reassurance, guys. Okay.
Rich is like, by the way, where's my nice comments?
I don't get comments on my looks. I mean, I comment on my own looks. I think I look a little gross. My hair's overgrown. I usually like my hair really short. My beard is like I can comb my fingers through my beard. It's getting gross and long. I look gross, everybody. Anyways,
this is hilarious. Look at this. Chris looks amazing. Somebody's like, "Hey, Rich, what do you think of Jar Jar Binks?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Those are the comments Rich gets.
So
you guys are hilarious.
Anyways, obviously they joked about the sequel in the original being called Spaceballs 2: The Search for More Money. I hope. If they don't name it that's a missed opportunity. They have to name it Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. But will it be like following up with the characters that we know? Will these be like the sons of the characters of the first one? Or will it be making fun of modern Star Wars? And at this point, it's been so long since the original Spaceballs, you could be making fun of the prequels. You could be making fun of the sequels. Or it could be some kind of, satire commentary about like the situation that the movies themselves are in, about like how the fans don't like them or something. You know what I mean? Like you could do that sort of thing. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. Anyways, moving on, because I don't want to talk about this anymore. Inside Out 2.
Oh, I have not seen it, but you have.
I've seen it and I loved it. Inside Out 2, it's Friday, so it's going to make a ton more money this weekend. But as of today, the movie's made $500 million. In 1 week, which is, great. If trust me, if we're talking about 2019, like, $500 million, but you guys have to understand, ever since the event that we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube, that, ruined everybody's lives for a year, movies haven't been making that much money. I mean, there hasn't really been a whole lot of billion-dollar movies.
That's a good point.
And, and Pixar was also really screwed over because Disney put all of the movie, instead of like waiting or delaying to release them, they put movies like Turning Red and Soul straight on Disney Plus.
Oh,
and so
good point.
Pixar lost tons of money.
I see.
And so like this is good for Pixar because it just shows you that they still have a lasting power when people still want to go to the movies to see a Pixar movie. And Inside, and personally I really liked Inside Out 2. I don't want to say too much because I'm not spoiling it for this guy. I might be in the minority here. I thought that Inside Out 2 was better than the first one.
Which is wild, because the first one was one of the best Pixar movies of that decade. It was really good.
Now, obviously, you can't have the second one without the first one, but I just... the character is a teenager now. She gets more complex emotions, and there's a lot of stuff that I was impressed with the way they handled all of it, especially the character of anxiety. There was a lot of stuff in there that felt really personal. And yeah, it was great. I'm going to say no more in case you haven't seen it, but yeah, it was great. That's all I want to say.
Cool. I definitely want to see it. So Rich liked it. That means it's got to be good.
Anyways, actually, yes. Thank you, Joey. I mean, I've already talked about in previous weeks the Deadpool and Wolverine news. There isn't a whole lot of new Deadpool and Wolverine news, except for they did finally finish the final cut.
Oh,
just a day or two ago, Ryan Reynolds posted.
Is that movie coming out next
month?
Wow,
but that's usually how it goes.
Is that typical?
That's pretty standard. Like
that.
Some movies, like there's movies that have waited until like 3 days before, and then they've had to do an emergency
rush
the prints out, and whatever. But movies say they say you have to finish by this date. They don't say what, it's just, hey, you could be done the day before and they'll figure it out.
As long as it's by the deadline. Dang, okay.
Yeah, so they just finally did the final edit. That means, and they were in editing for a while, so my guess is that probably Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy, the director, they were probably really tweaking things, probably just cutting frames here and there just to get everything perfect. You know editing.
Yeah. We know from years of editing Super Mario Bros. And by we, I mean you.
So Sam says, Rich gives hot dad vibes, but I'm biased. Well, that's 1 win for me and 12 wins for Chris.
Thanks, Sam, for making Rich feel a little bit better.
I didn't feel bad to begin with. I'm just all right. Anyways, okay, but actually, I'm gonna save this one for after this.
Okay,
one.
okay, yeah.
Blade, the Marvel character Blade, kind of immortalized in a way by Wesley Snipes in those 3 Blade movies. Hey, the third one's got Ryan Reynolds in it.
He's in everything these days.
Blade is awesome, and I don't know if I've talked very much about Blade before on our streams. I'm sure I mentioned it when they announced it like 5 years ago. But that's the problem. They announced it way too early. And I understand the event we can't talk about, the writer's strikes, everything. It's like a lot of stuff has delayed this movie. But don't let Disney and Marvel blame everything on those events. They've gone through half a dozen writers. They've gone through several directors. They cannot decide what this movie is going to look like, sound like, tonally, visually, aesthetically. It is a mishmash of creative differences. The most recent director just walked out well, we just learned about it a few days ago, but he actually walked out a few weeks ago, apparently. And it's a mess. I mean, you've got
Did you know you're getting some really good compliments on your beard right now?
Oh, well,
you
thank
got
you.
3 people in the chat who I just wanted to point that out. Thank you guys. Rich does have a good beard.
Anyways, thank you. This should be a lesson in do not announce a project maybe until you have a script locked down. Maybe lock down a script before you tell the world that this movie's happening. Because this is what happens when you announce something. You've told people for 5 years that this Blade movie is happening, and you still remember this was in like 2019. At this same event, they announced like Thor: Love and Thunder. They announced Wakanda Forever and a couple other things. All those movies were filmed, edited,
and released
and are now on streaming.
Yeah.
All of them. They announced Blade at that same time, and it has not even started production. Do not announce things until you are ready to shoot or ready to program, Bethesda. Do not announce Elder Scrolls 6 years ago. Sorry, pivot.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Blade's just got problems. So everybody got a little bit excited when they announced that Jordan Peele was talking with Marvel. But it wasn't for Blade, we learned. He was actually in talks to direct the new X-Men movie.
Oh,
but
wow, that would have been interesting.
He had to pass because, Jordan Peele likes just doing his little art house horror movies. And
yeah.
I don't know, I guess that's kind of where he's at. I mean, I love Jordan Peele, but I love Key and Peele, Jordan Peele,
I know, I'm biased on that too, because that's how we grew to know and love him.
I mean,
so.
Don't get me wrong. I think that what he does, like, I saw Nope, and I thought that was pretty good, but I'm not like, yay, Nope, I can't wait to watch it again. It was good, but, like, I rewatch those Key and Peele sketches all the time, and I don't know if maybe he's just afraid to do more comedy because he doesn't want to get pigeonholed, but I feel like he's done enough horror now. He can go back to comedy or do a superhero movie. And, I'm surprised, like, anyways, yeah. Cinematic Genius, sure. Oh.
Let's see if it works.
Does it work? Does it work? Is it going to work? I don't think it's working, Chris.
All right, we're going to read this one on
say
our
it.
own.
I'm going to read it the way the robot was supposed to read it. Dwayne made it. Dwayne Super made it. I guess you do it. I had a stroke, I guess.
Oh, jeez. Dwayne made it. Super chatted $4.99. Sending good vibes from backstage at the SpongeBob musical. Also, doing Jersey Boys this week. I know you're fans. LOL.
What?
Thank you,
Hold
Dwayne.
on a second. You're backstage at the SpongeBob musical? Are you in the SpongeBob musical, or are you just backstage at the I need to know now. What are we talking about here?
But we are Jersey Boys fans, and that's a deep throwback there. Dwayne made it because we were watching Jersey Boys way back in the 2000s.
We used a lot of Jersey Boys in the first season of
for
Super
whatever
Mario.
reason in Stupid Mario Bros. But thank you very much, Dwayne, for the super chat. Sorry that the this didn't work.
Someday we'll get this figured out.
Random. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's how it goes.
Jersey Boys is awesome, though. I cried for you. Do 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 do.
Sam just
now
left
cry for
clever
me.
comment in the chat. Thank you, Sam.
I was obsessed with Jersey Boys.
Anyway, so point is, did you finish your thoughts?
They actually, by the way, they did try to make a Broadway musical on the Temptations, sort of in that Jersey Boys style, where everybody's kind of they take turns explaining what's going on. You know, Jersey Boys was like, I dropped out of high school to towards short shorts, but then I saw this kid, Frankie Valli, and I was like, wow, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know. So it's like they tried to do the Temptations, but it like I remember now. It only lasted for like a few weeks, and then that event happened that we were talking about. But they haven't put it back up since then.
Yeah.
I listened to the soundtrack. It's good. I wish it was better. Anyways, that's neither here nor
that's
there.
how it goes.
Okay, last thing before we get to video game news is I want to talk about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay, and you've got a lot, because when we were going through all the news, this was the thing that Rich is the most excited about, and I'm probably the most excited about. But take it away, Rich.
So, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is an upcoming Game of Thrones prequel. I know what you're thinking. We already have a Game of Thrones prequel. It's House of the Dragon, which, again, in my interesting opinion, is better than Game of Thrones. Oh, we have a super chat, so be right back to you. Dwayne made it. Super chats $4.99 and says, yes, haha, I play Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob and Jip DiCarlo in Jersey Boys. So, wait, are you...
Dwayne is doing 2 productions right now.
Okay, I guess that's why Dwayne made it. Because he made it. Oh, man, Matt'll be jealous.
But that's really cool. Thank you, Dwayne, for the super chat, and good luck on both of your plays. Or,
Now,
I think you're supposed to say break a leg, because you're not supposed
Yeah.
to say
Oh,
good luck.
yeah. Break a leg.
leg.
Did you listen to that song in The Producers? You never, ever, ever say where I'm opening. You know? Dwayne, I gotta know, just for extra clarification. This may be a stupid question. You're in SpongeBob and you're in Jersey Boys. Off Broadway, Broadway.
I'm pretty sure it's
I know the answer.
local community theater.
Is it local community theater?
Would be my guess.
What? Is that for me? For me? Oh, and a seltzer for Chris?
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Good service here.
This is great customer service. Appreciate that. This is a seltzer. It's non-alcoholic.
Uh-oh.
And it just...
And it's all over you.
And it exploded on me.
This
was a
is
trick.
this is where I wish we had like the oh god, the like the little like we'll be right back after these technical difficulties.
Thanks for getting that, Sam.
Oh, I gotta-
All right, so...
I gotta refresh it again. I hit a button on my keyboard that made it go.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay, so anyway, Game of
All right.
Thrones, prequel.
But
That's what we were talking about.
Dwayne says, LMAO, I'm dead. No problem. I met Matt at an audition once. He met Matt at an audition.
Oh, well, there you go. So he probably does maybe not local community theater, but the next step up.
Dude, I think this is something for real. Like, okay, Dwayne, could you give us a hint at where these productions are taking place? I need to know.
Don't dox yourself if it's dangerous for security purposes.
I mean, you could say New York.
Now Rich is really curious. Dwayne, whatever info you feel comfortable sharing, you're allowed to share, but if you don't, that's okay too.
You know, either way, Dwayne, you made it. All right. Okay, so A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is a Game of Thrones prequel. We said that. So it takes place 100 years before Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon took place 200 years before, sorry. Excuse me, my bad manners. So this is a show that's essentially in the middle of House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. Although, again, that hardly matters because I use, you know, the whole, like, thing about spin-offs is, like, usually people are like, oh, it's got to have one of the main characters. And it's not gonna be. But House of the Dragon proved that you could do a show in the same universe at a completely different time with completely different characters, and it could be
People
just
would
as
still
good
like it, yeah.
or better. I don't want to get into all the reasons why I prefer House of the Dragon. I will just say that I just love that it's more focused. There's less characters. Instead of, like, you go through 3 episodes on Game of Thrones without seeing your favorite character. You know what I mean? Because, like, there's so many characters, you know, they're not even in every episode because they're, oh, this guy. You know, the House of Dragon just simply focuses on House Targaryen for the most part. This new show is going to focus mainly on just the knight and his squire, 2 characters. I think, should I just like start reading from the article? Because it's pretty good. Hey, Dwayne, you super chatted again. He says, this is a regional theater in Nebraska, out here for 3 months and then headed back to New York. And yes, I met Matt. All right, out of money. Bless up, boys. Thank you, Dwayne. You made it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for the super chats, and break a leg.
So the reason why this is news today, because they announced the show a while back, the reason why it's news today is because just today or in the last couple of days, they actually started filming this show, and they already have a couple set pictures from A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The reason why this is significant is because they announced like 5 or so spinoffs of Game of Thrones when Game of Thrones ended, but then most of them ended up not happening except for House of the Dragon, and it became one of those things, just like Star Wars movies, where it's like, ooh, Rogue Squadron, and it's like, it's happening, it's not happening, it's happening, it's not happening, whatever, you know, I think it's allegedly happening again, whatever, or the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie, like, is that happening still? You know, it's like, you know, it becomes this joke, and again, it kind of goes all the way back to the Blade thing, you know, which is like, don't announce if you're not ready to do it,
right?
You know?
Because they keep on doing this, where we get a tease of something that never happens.
So I think we've all become in our generation announcement jaded.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it.
Announcement jaded. So I personally don't believe anything until it's like it's being physically worked on. So A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, they're set pictures, they're filming it right now. It is happening. This show is happening, and we're gonna get it. I don't know when. They haven't announced a release date, but considering they're filming it now and give or take a year to like decide on tone, edit, and everything, I'd say it's probably about a year before we actually see it, which is fine because we're in the middle of a new season of House of the Dragon. So
there you go.
You know, I think that's the idea. It's like we get, because it took 2 years between seasons of House of the Dragon. So I think the idea is it's like 1 year we'll have a House of the Dragon season, 1 year we'll have a Night of the Seven Kingdoms season, and it'll be like off and on like that, you know, something.
Yeah.
So that way it kind of breaks that up and makes the wait a little bit less for your new Game of Thrones materials. However, like I said, the reasons why I like House of the Dragon could potentially mean that this show might end up being my favorite Game of Thrones show, because it's really just going to focus on this. And the way that they described it, it's like, hey, and his, you know, little assistant egg, you know, and they're going to go through Westeros and have, it's like, it sounds like a road, they make it sound like a road trip movie, you know.
Medieval road trip.
They're going to meet like a wacky puppeteer guy, and like, you know,
They actually are.
You know, they're going to accidentally run into some people they shouldn't, you know. And, you know, it sounds like it could potentially have a lot more comedic elements for a Game of Thrones show.
It does, yeah.
Which I really appreciate. And, you know, also, I was talking to Chris about this. This feels like more ground level. You know, Game of Thrones usually focuses on, you know, the lords and ladies, the game for the Iron Throne and blippity blop, and it's like, my brother, I have more pure whatever insert house blood than you have, and I deserve to be next in line because blippity blop, you know.
Yeah.
Instead, it's this knight and his squire just, you know, it's like Man of La Mancha or something, you know, Don Quixote.
Well, you were the one that said it reminded you of kind of Mandalorian.
I was getting to that, Chris. You spoiled my...
Spoilers.
No, yeah, it's like, you know, when you spend your whole time watching Star Wars and Jedis and stuff, and then finally you get to like the Mandalorian, and it feels like a little bit more ground level. That's what this potentially could be. It's like Game of Thrones, Westeros, but you're seeing it from the point of view of just a couple dudes walking around, you know, which is great. I'm excited.
Did you want to mention that thing about how it was written by a historian, but this might be the real thing?
Oh, that was House of the Dragon, you know.
Oh, that was House of the Dragon, not this
Oh
one.
yeah, well, yeah, but since you mentioned it, I was just because we were talking about this stuff earlier. With House of the Dragon, it's based on George R. Martin's novel Fire and Blood.
Yes.
You know, everything is. This one, by the way, Night of the Seven Kingdoms is based on The Hedge Knight. The name of the novel is The Hedge Knight. And I know what you're thinking. Why does he write all these other books when he should just be writing the main Game of Thrones? It's like, at this point, I actually don't even care. That show's over. Whatever. You know?
He's given up on it.
I actually really like these more spin-off-y stories right now. So the Hedge Knight is what the Night of the Seven Kings is based on. The House of the Dragon is based on Fire and Blood. Now, James Carg. Thank you so much, James. James just super chatted $20 and says, debated this one, but I can't resist giving what y'all have earned. Hope the revival of the Mario and Luigi series has you hyped. I was certainly shocked and Nintendo got back to it since the last studio's bankruptcy.
Thank you so much, James.
Thank you, James.
We have a lot to say about the upcoming Nintendo games.
And we're going to get to that in just a minute.
And that'll be our next topic here shortly, but really appreciate you being consistent, watching our videos, and being very generous with the Super Chats. So thank you so much, James.
Thank you, James, for your $20, and I'm sure that was the idea. $20.
Yeah,
I rode with gangs for $20.
$20.
For a Mona. You know, I have those compilations that are... ridiculous.
Good times.
Anyways, the last thing I wanted to say is that Fire and Blood, the book that House of the Dragon is based off of, is written within the context of the book. It's written from the point of view of a historian. So if you've read Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire, you know that like each chapter is like written from a different character's point of view. Like here's Ed Stark's point of view, and here's this chapter written by Joffrey and blippity bloppity bloop, etc. and etc. This book, Fire and Blood, is written completely from a historian. Now, George R.R. Martin has said that the historian wasn't there. He's just writing what history has told. So people are like, I know what's going to happen in House of the Dragon because I've read Fire and Blood. False. The reason why George R.R. Martin was saying as such with the whole historical, he's what's it called when you don't know what you're talking about? You're an untrustworthy narrator or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a better word for that, but you know
Unreliable
what I mean?
narrator?
Unreliable narrator. Thank you. So, in other words, what he's really trying to say is, I'm going to make some stuff up and F you.
But the thing is, it's creative because if they change what happened in the book to make it different in the show to surprise the audience, it actually checks out because it was a historian who wrote the story and he might have gotten the historical details wrong, whereas the show's going to show it as it was.
And again, House of the Dragon is executive produced and overseen by George R.R. Martin, unlike the original Game of Thrones show, which was Benioff and Weiss. And the reason why he's in charge of House of the Dragon is because of Benioff and Weiss in season 8.
Need we say more? No, we need not.
So anyways, I have faith. It'd be different if they were like doing their own thing again. But like the fact that George R. R. Martin is in charge of House of the Dragon, he can do whatever he wants. Maybe he's using this as an opportunity to improve upon the story that he wrote in the book. You never know. Anyways, really excited for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. But Chris, it's time to go to Nintendo News.
Our feature presentation. So we're 30 minutes into our stream. Thank you so much. We're done with all the movie news.
This is the part of the stream where Chris is in charge, basically.
And now we get to the part that's actually relevant to the title. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Before we transition, be sure to give this video a like if you haven't already. Our Bluetooth speaker is not working, so we will manually read your super chats if you want to super chat.
Which is what I think everybody wants anyway, I don't know.
But anyway, so with that said, Nintendo, just a few days ago, they had their big Nintendo Direct where they announced a lot of new games. We're going to mostly focus on 3 of them, even though there was quite a bit of extra stuff. So the first one we want to talk about is Mario Party Jamboree.
Mario Party Jamboree!
Now, on the Nintendo Switch, we've had 2 Mario Party games so far. We had Super Mario Party, which kind of restarted things, because remember, Mario Party, I think it went up to 10, maybe 11? I think they got up to 10 across multiple consoles. But Super Mario Party was fun. And then they made the Mario Party All-Stars, which was a hybrid of having a lot of past stuff. Now, what's interesting, and this is my only gripe, is that when Nintendo made the last Mario Party game, which was Mario Party All-Stars, there was a bunch of levels from previous Mario Party games, but they didn't release all of them. Now, what a lot of fans were hoping was like Mario Kart, they were going to add DLC, and slowly you would get all the good levels from Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2, and Mario Party 3. But no DLC was announced, and people were like, why aren't they releasing some of the other levels? Like, we want Western Land. Like, that's a fan favorite from Mario Party 2. And it never came out. And guess what? Like we predicted, or I should say like some people on Reddit predicted, the reason Nintendo didn't give us all those classic levels is because they wanted to save them for the next Mario Party, which is Mario Party Jamboree. So
Yeah, you're going to get your Western level, you know.
So there's 2 retro levels that they're throwing back in from the classic levels. They're going to give us Western Land for Mario Party 2, which is not in Mario All-Stars, but it'll be in Mario Party Jamboree. And then they're going to give us, I think it was, what was it, Princess Peach's Castle or Mario's Royal Castle. It's the cool Cloud Castle level from Mario Party 1. But anyway, we're going to get both of those in this game. But I will say this, even though I'm a little bit annoyed that they like kind of spaced out all those old levels, there is one thing that's really cool, which is they have a special thing called it's the Koopa Marathon, but Koopathlon?
Koopathlon, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
And it allows up to 20 people
and
to play in the mini games.
I'll let you make this connection.
I mean, yeah, we were watching the trailer. I swear to God, as soon as they showed up to 20 people and it shows like everybody competing and then they're dropping up one by one, I was like, oh, this is just Fall Guys.
Because it was really funny. Because I was like, I'm really excited for like 20 people being able to play Mario Party Online. And Rich is like, of course you are, because you like Fall Guys.
Fall Guys.
So this is a funny thing where I think Fall Guys was copying Mario Party, and now Mario Party is copying Fall Guys.
Art imitates life, imitating art, imitating life, whatever.
But point is, I am actually really excited.
Man, as much as it's cool, it's like, that's the kind of stuff that I would do on my computer, though, you know, with all the massive multiplayer stuff. Like, excuse me,
you, Mario.
Sorry, I had a lot of acidic and. Anyways,
it's okay. Continue.
Gross. Yeah, I'm not gonna get on a Switch and play with 20 people. I hate the way that Nintendo has set up their.
But I am.
Well, you go ahead. I think that Nintendo has perhaps the worst online interface out of any of the consoles, and again, it's like even something I love, like, you know, like the PlayStation Network, it can't compare to just going on a computer and not having to do any specialized network, unless it has to be through the Epic Game Store. Then that's a whole separate thing we're not going to talk about today. But just no.
All right, so we're going to stop this Nintendo hate parade, because Rich always has one of these during every stream when we talk about Nintendo news, and he finds some random thing to hate for no reason. I'm excited for it.
He's hating for no reason.
I'm looking forward to 20-player Mario Kart in the Koopathlon, so that's going to be cool. And they said that the theme for Mario Party Jamboree is going to be island theme. Keep that in mind, because we're going to revisit that in our next topic. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover for Mario Party. Did you have any other final thoughts on that before we jump to the next one?
I'm sure it'll be fine. The thing about like them like releasing maps that they definitely should have released on the previous game is a little annoying.
It's a little annoying, yeah.
But I guess I'll wait for you to play it, and if it has enough good features, then I'm sure I'll get. Yeah. I mean, I didn't like Fall Guys at first either, you know. And Chris was like, "You gotta play."
I was obsessed with Fall Guys. I'm still obsessed with Fall Guys.
And the finally, it's like, okay, but then they've been slowly like lowering the cap or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, next up we got Mario and Luigi Brothership. And this is continuing on from the Superstar Saga. I know that most people are just calling it the Mario and Luigi series.
Don't forget to hold your mic.
Most people are calling it the Mario and Luigi series because I guess officially it is the Mario and Luigi series, but I feel like that's too confusing, right?
Because you're thinking
Mario and Luigi. It could be so many things.
We should call it the Mario RPG spin-off series would be more accurate.
Even that, it's like, because you got Mario RPG, you got Paper Mario, which is also an RPG, and then this, I just like to call this the Superstar Saga.
So the first
series,
game that actually makes more sense.
Superstar Saga, then there was the
it is really interesting that they split the Mario RPG spin-offs into the Superstar Saga series, which was all on handheld consoles, all the Game Boy DS stuff. And then there was the Paper Mario series, which was on the home console.
Yes, except now, this is, for the first time, is a game in the Mario and Luigi series on console, and for the first time, in 3D graphics. Although, I really appreciate that they're doing sort of a cel-shaded quasi-look, to kind of give it that look that the covers and the games had on like the Game Boy Color and everything else
it has a really stylized art look. And the other thing that's interesting about this is Alpha Dream, which was the company that created, or I guess they're the developer, so Nintendo publishes it. Alpha Dream actually developed the game and made it. They made Superstar Saga in 2003, and they made a few others. So there was, what was it? It was Partners in Time.
Bowser's Inside
Story. I think Dream Team was one, or Dream something. And then Paper Jam was the last one they made, not counting a couple.
Which was a crossover with Paper Mario.
And the Superstar Saga series. So the last I guess, Superstar Saga series game we got was Paper Jam in 2015. So it's been 9 years because Alpha Dream, the developer, went out of business. Now, when we were looking this up on Wikipedia, it doesn't actually say who the developer is. So we're not sure if it is Nintendo or if it's another one. It says Nintendo's the publisher. So I'm not quite sure who's making this game. I'm just assuming it's Nintendo until they reveal some second-party, third-party developer. But anyway, that's probably something you guys don't care about that much. The point is...
Just an interesting little tidbit.
It looks cool, and it is... Remember when I said to remember the island theme? It is also island-themed because there is an island...
They're on a ship that's like half island, half boat.
Yeah, it was like half island, half ship, half boat.
It's an island shaped like a boat that can also move.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I guess Mario and Luigi traveled the seas. Islands are in. I guess Nintendo really liked Sunshine. I like Mario Sunshine.
Islands are really in right now.
It must be 2003 again because Islands are back in, just like when Sunshine came out. But anyway, point is, it looks really fun. I'm excited for this.
People that are living on Hawaii are like, it's always island for us every day.
When I think about the Superstar Saga series, I really enjoyed the first one. I think Superstar Saga is the best one. After that, I would say probably Bowser's Inside Story was my second favorite. And then if you look at the Paper Mario series, I think that Paper Mario 2000 Your Door was my favorite. So it's just interesting that Nintendo's been doing a great job cranking out these Mario RPG remakes or sequels. Because we got the Mario RPG remake last year.
Yeah.
We got the 1000 Year Door remake last month? Really recently? This one, Brothership, comes out in November, on November 7th. So that's coming out just, later this year.
It looked good. I'm impressed.
But anyway, it's a good time to be a Mario and Luigi fan. And one thing I thought that was kind of funny is, for those of you guys that watch Full Metal Alchemist, you know that they made the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood show. I already saw some memes where people were doing Mario and Luigi, but Brotherhood style, like as if they were the alchemists from the anime, because Brotherhood, people are mixing it up, so they're just embracing the meme. So anyway, if you guys want some memes, just Google that, and I'm sure something funny will come up.
Cool. I had a joke and then I lost it.
All right.
Anyways, whatever. Moving on. Now, the last game we want to talk about is Echoes of Wisdom, which is the upcoming Legend of Zelda game. And guess what? In this Legend of Zelda game, you actually get to play as Zelda. What a twist.
And I thought that was interesting. And one thing I wanted to mention is, remember how on our last stream we were talking about Project, what was it? Edward?
Project Edward
and
and
Project
Red.
PL Red or
something.
SP Red or something.
It was these games probably.
So exactly. So this is what was revealed. Now it's been revealed.
Ooh, again, we were definitely stretching that news. But
hey, I was right about the RPG. It's just the Mario was the RPG, Zelda's regular.
Echoes of Wisdom seems to be, has a similar look to the remake of Link's Awakening. It has that same sort of look.
That chibi stylized sort of Clayorama look-ish.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, it's that.
But it looks really good. So, did you want to mention what's interesting about this?
What I really liked in the video that Nintendo put out is that they show, like, as Zelda, you have like your magic rod and your little magic fairy dude, and you can clone items. Like it shows cloning tables, cloning beds, and then you can use those tables and beds to act as like platforms. So like you need to get like up higher and get onto something, and you can clone like weapons, like cannons and stuff. To fire at enemies, or you can just clone enemies and stick them against other enemies, so that you have that in your arsenal. It's very, it reminds me of so many different games.
That's what's interesting about this, is it's a Legend of Zelda game, but it's borrowing from all these different genres. So there's a little bit of it that kind of feels like Pal World, which is borrowing from Pokemon because you can capture the monsters, or I guess echo them. But then there's also kind of like a Minecraft feel to it almost, because you're like building stuff. I mean, I guess you're not crafting it, but
I mean, it's just the idea of like, using blocks to like get around the environment. Yeah. That's the part that reminded me of Minecraft a little bit, but I don't think that, I guess you could build a house out of beds. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know to what extent they're going to like implement that as far as creation goes, but the game itself looks really interesting.
Fun. Yeah. It's definitely a fresh take on the Zelda genre. And now you play as Zelda. So maybe they should have called it The Legend of Link, just because,
EDMG7 says, "What's so special about playing a Zelda? I mean, you could do that in the CDI game, so we don't talk about that." Well,
nice reference.
Actually, no. The excuse me was the Saturday morning
Saturday
cartoon.
morning
Yeah,
cartoon?
no. The CDI link was like rolling his eyes around, like, "I don't know about that."
It's getting so boring around here, or whatever.
So creepy.
All the YouTube poop days.
I remember. All
Mix
right.
that up.
Yeah, and there was another game that people are excited for that we're not going to talk about because I don't think either of us really play the Metroid Prime games.
Yeah, so Rich and I have never been fans of the Metroid series. I'm not saying I dislike it. I just never got into it.
I mean, I like
classic,
like
Super
classic.
Nintendo,
Yeah, I was going to say,
Metroidvania.
yeah, classic Metroid, and classic Castlevania. Since you brought that up too, I know. The Metroidvania style. I like Metroid as a side scroller. Unlike a lot of people, I never really cared for the first person shooter versions. I thought that Metroid had a good thing when it was a side scroller. I think it works really well. Metroid Prime, it's like a completely different game. And yeah, if you like it, cool. I mean, I don't hate it. I think it's okay. It's just like, I'm not like, ooh, Metroid. Like, there are better first-person shooters.
We at least wanted to acknowledge Metroid Prime 4 was announced. And if you are a Metroid fan, then that is great news. And if you're like us and you're more of a Mario and Zelda fan, then, it's like, hey, the Metroid people can have the Metroid games and we'll have the Mario and Zelda games.
Yeah.
That's why Samus was never in Super Mario Bros. That, and I don't think we could have gotten the suit because that would
Oh, no, well, remember, there was one person that cosplayed as Samus. Well, okay, so yeah, there's two different stories here. The first time we tried to do it, couldn't afford it. It was like, it's going to be way too complicated, way too expensive. And then we found somebody that cosplayed as Samus and invited them to join the team. And then they moved away or something.
It's so long ago, I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But anyway,
Goku said Richie doesn't like anything.
You know what? Maybe that's the title of the next stream. Richie doesn't like anything.
I know, I'm such a Scrooge about everything. I think it's just like I'm on the wrong side of 35 now, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's...
well, there you go.
When you start to look at the world a little differently.
All right. So, out of all the games that are announced, we've got Mario Party Jamboree, Brothership, and Echoes of Wisdom. Which one are you the most excited about? Like, which one would you be
out of
most
these,
likely to play?
Honestly, probably Brothership.
Yeah, I agree. Brothership is probably the one I'm the most excited about. Rich is probably, your favorite genre probably would be RPGs with all the Final Fantasy and the Fallout and everything. So, and Chrono Trigger. So I would say that's your favorite genre. So that would probably be the closest to what you.
Yeah. See, I don't hate everything, guys. I love role playing games. Honestly, and because you can get through because as a kid I used to like Resident Evil, but you can get through a Resident Evil game in like 10 hours or less. And that always felt like I just spent $60 for a 10-hour game. It just felt a little empty. I'd still keep buying them though until they got lame with Resident Evil 6 or whatever.
I gotta read that comment. Misfits said, "Richie and Chris are the true Super Mario Brothership."
Aw, thank you.
How wholesome, but it's true.
But yes, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, big RPGs like that, the Mana series. And other games that come to my mind. When a game has like 50 plus hours in it, it's like, okay, now this is an epic tale worth pouring energy into. And yeah, man, that Final Fantasy VII remake, man, I'll bring it up every stream. So good. If you haven't been playing Remake, Rebirth, and all that, then you haven't lived. You should go play it to get a PlayStation. Like this one right here, this purple PS5.
Very nice, very nice. But
it's purple.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Brothership. It should be fun. I hope it has that Superstar Saga feel because one of the things I was talking to Rich about was that if you look at all the games that Nintendo has made, I think Rich actually coined this phrase, but there's something called too much itis. So
too much itis.
A lot of
Copyright
times,
RichAlvarez.
like Superstar Saga was simple and perfect. And then I think Partners in Time was the second one, and they just added so much stuff with like the younger version of Mario and Luigi. It got overly complicated, and it was like so complicated it wasn't fun. But then in Bowser's Inside Story, I feel like they kind of pulled back the complexity, and that's why that one was more fun. In fact, Alpha Dream, right before they went bankrupt, they remade Superstar Saga, which was this first installment. They skipped Partners in Time, and then they did a remake of Bowser's Inside Story, which was the third installment. So even, I'm guessing, probably just based on sales, they knew that was more popular. So here's my point. I hope that Brothership has that simple charm that Superstar Saga had, and they don't overly complicate it and make it too much. That's why Banjo-Kazooie is better than Banjo-Tooie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Isn't that why I came over with it? I was like, because Banjo-Kazooie is like classic. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And then Banjo-Kazooie has a case of too much itis.
And so, and Pikmin and Pikmin 2 had the same thing. It's like, you don't, like, I get it.
All those platforms, like, maybe that's why Nintendo only makes one main Mario platformer every generation, like
'Cause they don't
64, Sunshine, Galaxy, because if you try to do too much, then you're doing too much itis. Spyro 2, Banjo 2, Crash 2, literally everything 2. I actually think that Crash Rebalanced and Crash 3, Crash Bandicoot Warped is probably the best of the trilogy. But 2, all of the 2s, they always have too much itis because they're like, oh, it's going to be the exact same game with the exact same graphics, but now we have to add all these, stupid add-ons and crap.
That's
too much itis.
Well, anyway, that pretty much wraps my thoughts up on.
I think
all
we
the
go to
Nintendo
user
news.
questions.
Yeah, so now it's open free for all. If you guys have questions for us,
Free for all.
If you have something interesting, video game related, movie or TV show related, just a nice compliment about Richie's beard or my biceps, anything you want to say, now's your chance.
Misfits Mayhem says, wait, quick question. What do you guys feel about the Elden Ring DLC? I feel nothing because I've never played Elden Ring.
So Elden Ring, I know that it is one of the greatest modern games that has come out. I see stuff all the time online about how amazing it is, and it's the pinnacle of modern gaming in a sea of, like DLC and freemium. I have not played it.
I'll say this. I used to live with Corey Barton, and at the time that the game came out, I watched him play it a lot, and he seemed to really enjoy it. And I was like, that looks cool. I'm going to go play Skyrim now. Like I do with most things.
And I was like, that's cool. I'm going to go back and play Fall Guys and
or
World of
nothing
Warcraft
at
Classic.
Waluigi's PS5? Nope, it's just purple. And the funny thing is,
because the purple, right?
So I was actually trying to. So every PS5, or at least I think they might have different covers now officially. Originally, the PS5 only came in white. So I replaced the plating, and I can't remember where I got the plates off of some website, because Sony doesn't officially make replacement plates, at least at the time that I bought them, right? So I was actually trying to get them in like a coral or teal. I love the combination of blue and green, whether that be teal or cyan or whatever, So I wanted that. They were out of that. But I definitely didn't want a white PS5, so I settled for purple. And I have a purple controller that goes with it, so my dreams of a blue turquoise will be another time.
I got to
Whoa, pipe dreams, Mario reference.
I gotta read that comment by HK Sonic Cosplay Team. They said, Richie is rocking for the Plumber Night look, and Chris is ripped ready for the Luigi Death Stare. Nice. I remember when the Luigi Death Stare thing was. That was 10 years ago.
Yes.
That was back
definitely,
in 2014.
It's like now, I'm definitely the Plumber Knight now because I got a huge beard and I'm old. So,
did you want to read Jose's question about Dragon Age? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Missed that one, Jose.
Jose?
Rich, since you're a fan of RPGs, have you ever played Dragon Age? If so, what do you think of the new one coming out this year? I remember Dragon Age Origin, and God, what was the second one called?
Inquisition or...
I think Inquisition was the third one. I could be wrong about that. I played the first two, or I should say probably 1.5, really. They're good. There's just something about them. They're EA, so they've got that nice like polish, but a little bit of like lacking in substance kind of feel
that's a
to
good
it.
way to put it.
They're not bad, but like every single time that I play Dragon Age, and I'm not even kidding this time, I'm like, what's better than this? Skyrim.
I knew he was gonna say it,
but I'm not even kidding.
It's like
I'm not even kidding. It's
that there's no other game you like more than Skyrim unless it's like Fallout.
No joke. I have probably God, I have like hours, and again, I sell I have a bad habit of selling my consoles when I get new ones. But like my PS3, Xbox 360, and my PS4 racks up so many hours in Skyrim. I've actually barely touched it on. I have it on Steam too. Yeah, same. I have it on Steam, but I don't even think I've played it much on Steam. For whatever reason, it's all on my consoles, which is weird because when I play a Fallout game, I really like playing it on computer, so that way I can get into the commands and everything if I need to like get out of a glitch or something. And normally I like to do that with Bethesda games as well. And it's not like I'm trying not to play it on computer. I just own it for everything. And so it also my computer's like 10 years old at this point. Oof. So yeah, Skyrim definitely plays and looks better on my PS5 than anything right now. But anyways, my point is, I think I've played Skyrim from beginning to end a couple dozen times. Probably have thousands. I mean, I know that on my PlayStation, on my PS5 that I've only had for a year and a half, it says I have like 350 hours.
Impressive.
And that's just the PS5 version. That's not including the first time I played it on the PS3 or anything, you know? It's like, so I must have just like ludicrous.
Close to 1,000 hours.
No, I'm sure I have like 2,000 hours at least, you know? That's 300, Chris, that 350 hours is just from two playthroughs. Because, yeah, it takes like 150 plus hours if you want to do every side quest, go across the map, do everything. And, you gotta deal with all them, Nords that are like, so you're the Dragonborn, and here I thought I was Highborn. Oh, now you must visit my brother in Winterhold and tell him that the necklace needs to be crafted by the blacksmith on top. I don't know. You know how it is.
Yeah, it goes.
Oh, good. You're awake. That's the first thing they say in the
meme. Very nice. Well,
that guy plays like, there's only like, I feel like there's only 6 voice actors in Skyrim. Everybody has that same voice, like, when the Empire took over from the Aldmeri Dominion, It's like, it's like you all know what I'm talking about if you've played the game. Sorry. Next question, Chris.
We got some nice comments here. So Misfit said, Chris is getting ready to do a series of avenging his fallen brother. That's pretty good. DZ said, no question here, but just wanted to say, hey. Brandon said, what's your opinion on Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Switch?
Oh,
I didn't play it. I didn't play. I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up, so I only got to play the Donkey Kong Country games when I was at like a friend's house. But you liked it because I know you were a big Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
Country
I like
fan.
the Returns series and the Frozen one too, or whatever.
Oh, Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze.
We did a YouTube news on that like a decade ago. Oof.
I think those do a great job of like returning to those classic DK. Donkey Kong Country roots. The
music was really good. Yeah. HK Sonic had a couple comments. They said, LOL, we are making a Sonic cosplay film, and you guys are the inspiration for us making the film. That is awesome. Good luck. And then they followed up and said, so we're kind of like the Sonic version of the Stupid Mario Bros., but yours will always be the most superior. Well, thank you.
Well, that's cool.
Thank you, Sonic, and good luck to your cosplay team. Hope your show goes well. And then, Misfits had another Fallout question. So they said, "Oh wait, Richie, are you going to be playing the Fallout 76 update?"
So here's a fun thing. So like again,
big Fallout fan.
I'm a huge Fallout fan.
Not quite the 76 fan.
Hold on.
Richie's
everybody knows. Like actually,
let the man cook.
I had a really big hit on TikTok several years ago.
I remember that
with my
it did decent
little
views on YouTube Short. Well, before YouTube Shorts, it was your jumping through the games.
Yeah, it's like I'm doing that thing where it's like, here's what Fallout 3 is like, here's what Fallout 4 is like, and then here's what Fallout 76 is like, and it just goes dead. Disconnected.
That's pretty good.
And it kind of is still like that in a lot of ways. The game, But I recently, about a month or so ago, I went back and I tried to start Fallout 76 again from the beginning. And I'll tell you what, it's not the multiplayer thing that really bothers me, or even the lack of content, because even like several patches later, it still feels really lonely and not, doesn't feel, even though the world is huge, and I love the world. The world is beautiful. Well, chef's kiss. West Virginia, looks great. But it just feels so much emptier and lonelier than... And I know that Fallout is supposed to be lonely. It's the post-apocalypse. But there was so much to do in New Vegas. There was so much to do in Boston. There was even so much to do in Washington, D.C. in the past Fallout games. Like with this game, it's always a struggle to find something exciting to do in Fallout 76, because the map is so big, and because they had to make a world where people could exist at the same time. But all of that aside, I think the thing that bugs me the most about Fallout 76 is the upgrade system or the leveling system. I can't stand the level up system with the card packs. I hate the randomness of it. I hate that I have to wait for a random chance that I'll get the card that I need to like upgrade my guns. Or I hate that. Fallout 4, even though it's not my favorite, New Vegas is the best. Fallout 4 actually had the perfect leveling up system where it was so simple with the big cartoons, and you could just like, oh, I need to be better at shotguns or rifles. It's like, then, you put the points in agility or whatever, and you go down and put your points in rifleman, and it's like, exactly what you're getting. You have planned on upgrading a specific set to do that. It's like, it was even more streamlined than the Skyrim leveling up system, which was already extremely streamlined. It's like, why don't you just repeat that again? But no, they had to make the dumb card system. That is the main gripe I actually have with Saul. It could be offline. It could be single player. I'd still hate it if it had the card system.
That's how it goes.
So, long story short, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, everything else sucks. Except maybe Fallout 4 is okay. Sam said Fallout 4. But good job, good comment. Thanks for getting.
And again, going. I said this when I think we talked about it when the Fallout TV show came. I love the Fallout TV show. I think it's the best Fallout since New Vegas. I really love it.
The best Fallout since Fallout Elwood.
Ooh, yeah. Except that only lasted 2 episodes.
Anyway, but
I had somebody I can't remember if it was Garrett or somebody was saying that they felt like. There's a couple things in the show where it's like, did they watch
that they might have copied somebody.
But we say that same thing with the Mario stuff, like the Mario movie. Like, did they watch Stupid Mario Brothers? And the truth is, hey, you never know, maybe. But the truth is that it's probably like, okay, like we were doing a Fallout show. They're doing a Fallout show.
You're both inspired by
it's like you're both inspired by Fallout. And like the way that you adapt that to a show is probably going to mean that similar ideas are going to happen. It's like, because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make a Fallout show, so I'm going to like focus on this one character, and then he's going to be, occasionally surrounded by these other characters that are inspired by different things. And what do you know? Here's a Fallout show where you focus on one character, and then you have other characters surrounding that are inspired by other Fallout characters. It's like, that's simple enough. But then there's like, well, boy, but did you see the thing on the blippity blah? It's like, I get it, but you never know. I don't know if there's a huge like conspiracy. When I was 10 years old, I made a little video that no one on the internet ever saw, because I used to just mess around with my dad's video camera and just edit little movies on the VHS thing about me being attacked by a Beanie Baby. It was like I had a shot where it was like flying and then it was on my face, and I made it look like the Beanie Baby was attacking me. It was like a year or two later, Agent Cody Banks 2, there's a flying Beanie Baby that's attacking people's face and everything. I'm like, they stole my idea. Except there's no way that they knew that I could have made that. Unless somebody, my personal NSA agent, is watching my life and he's like, oh, I got to sell this guy's ideas to Hollywood.
Have you seen those memes? It's like my personal FBI agent smiling because I drank water today.
I mean, I know the memes, but they're all wrong because it would definitely be either NSA or Homeland Security, not FBI.
True.
And I know these things because I deep dive on I'm Agent Cody Banks. No.
I was going to say Rich is not a Fed. And now I think he is because he said he's not. Anyway, nice.
I wish I was, but for just so I could be like.
Good job, security.
I wish I was so I could be like Mulder in the X-Files and just like go over the cool stuff.
The aliens.
Scully. Anyways,
so a couple other comments I wanted to read. Going back to HK Sonic's Sonic Super Mario Bros. Show, Zach said, "Stupid the Hedgehog." And then, because for Stupid Mario Bros, it used to go, do, Stupid Mario Brothers. So HK Sonic is like, da, 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 Stupid the Hedgehog. Anyway,
Stupid Mario
I thought that was creative.
It's time to get to the mail, Luigi.
So, yeah. Hope we don't get the same old crap we get every day. Good time.
That would have sucked. We're going to be performing live on stage. No, I'm just kidding.
Stupid Mario Bros. On ice.
we're gonna get with we just get on a panel and just like we read through the script, like.
Very nice.
It'd be fun. I'd love it.
Sean, I think, has asked a couple times about the Ace Attorney series. So Sean says,
I've never played it.
yeah, I have never played any of the Ace Attorney games. I've watched a couple YouTube videos and I'm familiar with the memes. So I don't really have any thoughts on any of the new games because I don't really play them. So hope you enjoy them, but not my game.
Not my game.
And then Misfits said, God, nostalgia just hit hard because of the Super Mario Bros.
When did those games first come out, the Ace Attorney? Because I feel
remember they were on the DS, so this would have been the late 2000s, mid to late 2000s.
I think I was already out of high school then when the first game came out. I graduated 2006, by the way. So anything that was after 2006, I'm too cool for.
Cool for school. Rich is like school in July, no class.
2001 for the GBA.
Oh, wow.
So it's a
So
little
those-
bit older.
those
I don't
go
know.
back,
Well, for
yeah.
whatever reason, I just never got into it. Yeah, I don't know.
Very
I don't
good.
know. Just never got into it.
Cool. Well, I think that pretty much covers all of our topics, and I think we've hit a bunch
64
of
minutes
the. Yeah, we've been going for a little over an hour, so one more reminder to give this video a like if you haven't already. Rich, did you have any final thoughts?
No, I think we went over a tremendous amount of topics today. It's going to be a nightmare to edit all of these into shorts and clips. So I think that's going to do it. But thank you all for participating, for joining us, for hearing us out. Special thanks to Dwayne Made It for making it and for super chatting, and also special thanks to James Carg for his generous super chat as well. We love you all, and we wish you all a very happy, merry June.
Today, or I guess technically yesterday was the first day of summer, so we hope you all have a wonderful summer, and hopefully we'll live stream.
Have a happy summer and an even more wonderful fall.
At the rate we stream, it might be that. But I was going to say, if we don't stream for a couple of weeks, which we'll try, but
Oh, that's right. We
happy-
haven't streamed for. Have we not
we took a
streamed
couple
since
weeks off. I think
Fanime?
it was no. We did. I think our last one was the last day of May, and that was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
So
crap.
we took, or did we do one in June?
I don't think so.
I don't remember. It's been a while. Well, you guys know us. We kind of
Yeah, you know us and how we're unreliable.
I was gonna say spontaneous and unpredictable, but unreliable is also accurate. Anyway,
Life
my
happens.
point is, I want to wish all of our American viewers a happy early 4th of July, because I don't know if we're going to be streaming before then. But if we don't, hope y'all guys have fun with your fireworks.
That's a good. I got to remember that. To all of our American, like in December, it's like to all of our American viewers, Merry Christmas. To all of our British viewers, Happy Christmas.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I knew exactly what you were going to say, but I had no reference. Good times.
Anyway,
All right. Well, with that said, could you sign us off with our theme of a Don Mario, please subscribe voice?
oh sure. Please subscribe. It's free and easy. Just like when you get 2 pizzas for the price of one at Don Mario's Pizzeria Special House. And don't forget to like this video. Give it a big old fat thumbs up. Because if you don't, you might be getting over to my cousin's house where he could essentially take a giant hammer to your face. and thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Wow.
Let's start that over.
Have a wonderful day.
And an even more pleasant tomorrow.
Bye.
This is the true Mario and Luigi brothers, the true Brothership, signing off. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.
Bye.